Once upon a time, on a peaceful little farm, there lived a small red hen. She was not like the other animals. While the sun rose and fell each day, she was always busy, working hard from morning until night. Every day she pecked at the ground, searching for tiny worms beneath the soil. She wandered between bushes, always alert, always moving. And when the time was right, she would sit quietly and lay an egg. She did all of this with no complaints. The little red hen was small, but full of energy and determination. She wasn't alone on the farm. She had 3 friends, a cat, a dog, and a horse. But they were not like her. The cat preferred to lie in the warm sunlight, purring lazily as the day passed by. The dog, on the other hand, loved sleeping in the cool shade, snoring softly under a tree. And the horse? Well, the horse was the laziest of all. He spent most of his time sitting in front of the TV, eyes half closed, never moving unless absolutely necessary. While the little red hen worked to feed herself and take care of her day, her friends rested, relaxed, and watched the world go by. They were content in their own way, but they didn't share her sense of purpose or drive. Still, the hen didn't complain. She simply did what she knew best. She kept working, quietly and steadily, day after day. One sunny afternoon, while the little red hen was pecking near the edge of the field, something caught her eye. A small bush full of ripe, juicy raspberries. Her eyes lit up with excitement. "Raspberries!" she squealed. "Yum, yum, yum, yum! These would make a delicious raspberry cake." She clucked happily and rushed across the farm to share the news with her friends. "Guys," she called, "I found raspberries! Big, red, juicy ones! We can make a raspberry cake!" The dog perked up, his mouth watering at the thought. "Oh, yes!" he drooled. The cat sat up and licked her lips. "Absolutely," she purred. The horse flicked his tail and smiled. "What a great idea!" The little red hen was delighted by their enthusiasm. "Wonderful," she said. "So, who wants to help me pick the raspberries?" There was a pause. "Not me," said the dog. "I'm too busy." "Not me," said the cat. "I'm too tired." "Not me," said the horse. "I'm watching TV." The little red hen looked at them, a little disappointed. But she didn't argue. She simply nodded and said, "Then I will do it myself." And so she went back to the bush. She picked each raspberry carefully, one by one, filling her basket with the sweet red fruit. The sun was warm, and the work took time, but she didn't complain. She did it all by herself. While her friends rested in the shade or in front of the television, the little red hen quietly gathered every raspberry she would need, dreaming all the while about the cake she would soon bake. After collecting all the raspberries, the little red hen looked at her basket with pride. But she knew that raspberries alone wouldn't be enough to make a cake. She needed more: flour, sugar, milk, and butter. So once again, she went to find her friends. "Okay," she said cheerfully. "We have the raspberries. Now we need flour, sugar, milk, and butter. Who wants to help me get them?" The dog yawned and said, "Not me. I'm too busy." The cat stretched out and murmured, "Not me. I'm too tired." The horse, without even turning away from the television, muttered, "Not me. I'm watching TV." The little red hen sighed, but she didn't argue or get upset. Instead, she gave a small nod and said, "Then I will do it myself." So off she went again, this time to the pantry. She reached up high and pulled down a heavy bag of flour. Then she found the sugar and added it to her basket. She walked all the way to the fridge and took out the butter and the milk. It wasn't easy. The bag of flour was heavy and the milk was cold in her feathers. But still, she carried everything back step by step, all by herself. When everything was finally on the table, she looked at her ingredients and smiled. She placed a big bowl in front of her and began to prepare the cake batter. There were no hands to help. No paws, no hooves, just her wings and her determination. She poured the flour, added the sugar, measured the milk, and dropped in the butter. The kitchen was quiet except for the gentle clinks and clatters as she worked. The little red hen didn't complain. She just kept going, calm, steady, and strong. After all, she had a cake to make. With all the ingredients on the table, the little red hen stood ready. The big mixing bowl sat in front of her, waiting. "Who wants to help me mix the cake batter?" she asked, still hopeful. The dog looked up lazily. "Not me," he said. "I'm too busy." The cat rolled over and mumbled, "Not me. I'm too tired." The horse didn't even move his eyes from the screen. "Not me," he grunted. "I'm watching TV." The little red hen gave a soft sigh. Then I will do it myself, she said quietly. She poured the ingredients into the bowl, flour, sugar, butter, milk, and began to stir. Slowly, patiently, she mixed it all together. The batter started to turn smooth and creamy. Then, carefully, she folded in the raspberries she had picked one by one. The mixture turned a beautiful, soft pink, dotted with deep red fruit. She smiled and gently poured the batter into a cake tin. It was heavy, but she didn't mind. She carried it to the oven and slid it inside. Then she waited. Tick-tock, tick-tock. The kitchen filled with a warm, sweet smell. It drifted through the house, out the windows, and across the farm. The dog twitched his nose. The cat lifted her head. The horse turned down the TV. Something smelled delicious. All three animals stood up and followed the scent to the kitchen. There, the little red hen stood by the oven. She pulled out a beautiful raspberry cake. Golden on top, steaming gently. She placed it on a plate and sprinkled sugar over it like snow. It looked perfect. It smelled like magic. The hen turned to her friends with a smile. "So, who wants to help me eat this cake?" It drifted through the house, out the windows, and across the farm. The dog twitched his nose. The cat lifted her head. The horse turned down the TV. Something smelled delicious. All three animals stood up and followed the scent to the kitchen. There, the little red hen stood by the oven. She pulled out a beautiful raspberry cake. Golden on top, steaming gently. She placed it on a plate and sprinkled sugar over it like snow. It looked perfect. It smelled like magic. The hen turned to her friends with a smile. "So, who wants to help me eat this cake?"
When the golden loaf was taken out of the oven, its warm aroma filled the yard. The duck, the cat, and the dog rushed over, chattering, "Give us a piece, please, little red hen." The little red hen gently shook her head, smiling kindly yet firmly, "I'm sorry, my friends, but from the moment I found the wheat seeds, planted them, harvested the grain, milled the flour, and baked the bread, I asked many times for help, but no one joined in. Today, I will enjoy this bread with my chicks. Next time, you can help me so we can all share the reward together." The friends lowered their eyes in silence. They began to realize the joy of enjoying a reward is only complete when you've contributed to it. From that day on, whenever the little red hen needed help, the duck, the cat, and the dog eagerly volunteered. The next season, they all worked together to make bread, and this time, everyone ate, laughing happily around the little table.